So we did ampere circuit on the last class, and we have completed up to this solenoid. The magnetic field due to the solenoid is mu naught Ni. Any doubts from the last class? Padma, Mariam, Noor?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Now let's do some numericals on this concept. In this mu naught Ni, this N is the number of turns per unit length. The small n, number of turns per unit length, and I is current through each turn. I is current through each turn, and small n are number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. So let's do few numericals on these concepts. So the question is, we'll do two numericals on this concept. We have a solenoid. Coil of 300 turns per meter. See, this is important. In few numericals, instead of number of turns per unit length, you would be having total number of turns. So when it is saying that this is 300 turns per meter, that means this is small n. Number of turns per unit length is this. These are number of turns per unit length, small n. Is carrying a current of 5 ampere the length of solenoid is 0.5 meter and has a radius of 1 centimeter. Find magnitude of magnetic field inside the solenoid. Magnetic field inside the solenoid. Walaikum Abdullah. This is the first question. We did nothing. That's the first question. First topic. See, we'll do this numerical together. In this numerical, this 0.5 meter is the length of the solenoid and 1 centimeter is the radius. L is 0.5 meter. R is 1 centimeter. There is no use of L and R in this numerical. L and R is here just to decide that L is very, very greater than R. This is in meter, this is in centimeter. L is very, very greater than R. That means your solenoid is it's a long solenoid. This data is given just to decide whether the given solenoid is long or not. So it's a long solenoid. For a long solenoid, magnetic field is mu naught Ni. You know the value of mu naught. Small n is this. I is given. Get the value of magnetic field and you write your answer in chat. I'm repeating again. There is no use of L and R in this numerical. You won't use L and R in any calculation. L and R are given just to decide that the given solenoid is long. It's a long solenoid. Note down the question. Write your answer in chat room. Answers. See, I am the faculty. Host faculty. Okay, Emma, just let me check. Okay, Ahmed, just let me. Ahmed, that's the first numerical. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Okay, Abdullah. So I got answers from Noor and Abdullah. What about you, Mariam and Fatma? Mariam, there's a formula-based thing, na? Mu naught is just 4 pi into 10 raised power minus 7. So you can write your answer in terms of pi also. Okay, Mariam and Fatma, I haven't got your answer right till now. See, this is very easy. Mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7. What is small n? Small n is nothing but 300. What is I? I is 5. That's it. It's a formula-based thing. So B is, it's 5, 3, 15, 15, 4, 60. So that's 60 pi into 10 raised power minus 5. Like minus 7 and this 2 will be minus 5. So we have 6 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 4 Tesla. Yes, Noor, you are correct. You have multiplied this with this thing. Now, right? Noor is correct. Abdullah is correct. Fatima and Mariam. Is it clear now, Mariam?
Yes, I was calculating the value of pi.
Okay, you are calculating pi also. Okay, next question. One more question. So you have a solenoid of length 0.5 meter, has radius 1 centimeter. And is made up of 500 turns. It carries a current of 5 ampere. What is magnitude of magnetic field? What is magnitude of magnetic field inside the solenoid? Magnitude of magnetic field inside the solenoid.
Sir, can you scroll down?
Sorry?
Forward.
Upward?
Can you scroll down? Yeah.
Yes.
More.
So, yes, Ahmed. Any doubt?
Some more like previous
Okay.
question.
Okay, okay.
Say here the length was 0.5. Then what did we do with that?
There
Like,
was no use of length in this question. The length and radius were given just to decide that the solenoid is long. Length is very, very high as compared to the radius, right?
yes,
It's
sir.
almost 50 times that of radius. So through this, you decided that solenoid is a long solenoid, and you can use this relation. This relation is valid only for a long solenoid. Okay, so
Yes,
this
sir.
data is given just to decide whether the solenoid is long or not. Okay, Mariam, tell me. Just compare this data 500 turns and this data 300 turns per meter. Is there any difference between them? 300 turns per meter is given and 500 turns is given. Mariam, is there any difference between them? Yes, Mariam.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference you can see? 500 turns, 300 turns per meter.
Here
What's
we
the
don't
difference?
know.
You don't know
That
the
is
difference?
300 per meter.
Yeah, that is number of turns per unit length. But here it's not per meter. That means these are the number of turns per unit length or total number of turns, Mariam?
Total.
Total number of turns. So in this question, total number of turns are given n, which are total number of turns are given. Total number of turns are 500, which are given. I need small n, number of turns per unit length. Number of turns per unit length. Per unit length. Now, Fatma will tell. Fatma, can you relate small n and capital N? Length is also given. Can you think of a formula to calculate small n in terms of capital N and length?
Capital N divided by L, length.
Very good. Very good. This is total number of turns divided by the length of the solenoid. Perfect. So do one thing. Now you can solve it. Huh? Get the value of small n. You have current. You know mu naught. Get the value of magnetic field and write your answer in chat.
So we have to take length in meter only, right?
Hmm. Okay, good. So I got answer from Fatma, from Abdullah, from Noor. Just let me decide. Just let me check. Okay, so we can calculate small n, which is total number of turns, which are 500, divided by the length of the solenoid, which is 0.5. So it comes out to be 1000, I guess, है ना? Right? 1000 turns per unit length. We can get the value of B now. It's mu naught Ni. So mu naught is 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7. Small n, which is 1000. I, which is 5. So what I get is it's 20 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 4 Tesla. 20 pi into, yes, Ahmed is correct, Mariam is correct, Abdullah is correct, Noor is also correct, Fatma is correct also. Fatma, power, Fatma, it should be minus 3, right? When you are multiplying this 0 here, then it should be, it's 2 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 3 Tesla. It's 2 pi into 10 raised power minus 3 Tesla.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Okay, next is so that was about solenoid. After solenoid, you have one more thing, which is toroid. We won't do any more numericals on it. Let's discuss toroid. See, what is toroid? Let me show you toroid first, then we will derive toroid. Huh? Just give me 1 second. 1 second. And are you having offline classes in Bahrain right now?
The intent to take up the course was knowledge.
Yes. Are you having offline classes? No.
No, sir.
Okay.
It's vacation right
No, not in school, but in other coaching centers. I mean,
now.
for other subjects. Are you going for physical offline classes? No, it's all online.
Yes, sir.
Your vacations will be over by
September 1st.
September. Okay, Mariam, so you're going for physical classes. Just 1 second. So is it the namaz? Time for namaz?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's have a break for 5 to 7 minutes, then we will continue. We'll continue after 7 minutes. We'll continue after 7 minutes, right? So shall we start? Okay, so let's start with toroid now. Is this animation visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, what is toroid? Toroid is a circular solenoid. So this is basically the toroid. This is the shape of the toroid. This is the toroid. So in toroid, we have 3 regions. This is region number 1. This we call region number 1. This is inside the toroid. This is what we call region number 2. This is within the core of toroid. This is region number 3, which is outside the toroid. This is the toroid. Inside, core, and then outside the toroid. One more thing. current is flowing through these wires, huh? So if you look at this end, current is coming outwards, and at this end, it's going inwards. Like here, current is revolving like in this way, in the whole ring.
we cannot
So at
see
one end,
clearly.
it's coming. Yes, sorry.
So we cannot see it clearly.
Cannot. Yeah, this is not very. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Let me see if there is. I think it's visible now, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this toroid, some current is going out. Current is flowing through this wire. So from this end, current is coming outwards, and this end it's going inwards. It's revolving like this through the whole toroid. So if I draw the cross-sectional view of the toroid, I can say that at one end coming out, current is going outwards, then at other end it's going inwards. Is it clear how the
Yes, sir.
current is going? And
Yes,
what are the three regions in the toroid? Inside, core, and outside.
Yes, sir.
There must be one more thing. I think they have drawn the.
Sir, this toroid is a solenoid.
Toroid is a solenoid. Yeah, you can say it's a solenoid. It's a circular solenoid. And one important thing about toroid is toroid does not have north and south poles. It doesn't have north and south. So this is the toroid. I will draw the cross-sectional view. Like I will cut it from here and will show you from one end current is coming outwards. At another end, it's going inwards. Now let's start our calculations. So what is toroid? This is a circular solenoid. It have number of turns of insulated wire wound over circular core. This is toroid. This have number of turns of insulated wire wound over a circular core. That's toroid. So we can draw toroid like this way. This is the cross-sectional view of the toroid. This is the toroid. So from one end, current is going outwards. Going outwards. And at the other end, it's going inwards. It's going inwards. So this is radius A. The outer radius is B now. A is inner radius of toroid. And this is the outer radius. And you know from the animation, you know that current is flowing through the wires. So one wire is going outwards and then inwards. There is no current through the core of the toroid. This is the core over which you have wound the wire. There is no current through the core. The current is through the wires. Toroid in this way, right? This is the toroid. That's the toroid. So you're supposed to calculate magnetic field in three regions: in the inside the toroid, inside the core, and the outer region. So if we calculate current in this region, we will consider an Empyrean loop. Let's say the radius of the Empyrean loop is R. Consider an Empyrean loop of radius R. So we have taken an Empyrean loop. The radius of the Empyrean loop is small r. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field in this region, the region 1, where R is less than. Fatma, just look at this loop carefully and tell me, is there any current which is inside the loop? Yes, Fatma. Is there any current which is inside the loop, inside this green loop, first loop that I have drawn?
Yes.
There's some current. See, Fatma. Current comes out from this end outside and it go inwards. Is there any current here in this region? I'm asking.
No.
There's no current in this region. All right. The whole current is outside this thing. So that means for this region, for the first Empyrean loop, which is in region 1, we can write this as its closed integral of B dot dl is mu naught I enclosed. It's mu naught I enclosed. What is I enclosed here?
0.
I enclosed is there, right? There's no current inside the loop, so I enclosed is 0. So if I enclosed is 0, that means magnetic field in the region 1 is 0. There is no magnetic field in this region. Means the region of this region of toroid have no magnetic field. There is no magnetic field in this region. Now let's calculate magnetic field in this region, in the core. So Mariam, can you find any current in this second Empyrean loop that I have taken? This is region number 2. Yes, Mariam. Is there any current enclosed by this second loop, the loop that I am showing by blue color?
No.
No. See, Mariam, what is this? What this cross is showing here?
The current is stored there.
Current is there. So this is the loop. Is this current inside the loop? This cross one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is some current inside the loop, right? There is some current inside the loop.
Sir?
Yes, Abdullah.
So it will be the radius R only, the second region loop.
Second region, it will vary. Yes, it will vary between A and B.
No, sir, the radius like you also do the second
radius-
Empyrean loop
radius-
also have the radius same only.
No. It will have different radius. This R is some variable. So I will define R. Like in region 2, I will define my R here. R is a variable. I'm defining it here. Region 2, consider an Empyrean loop. Consider an Empyrean loop. Sorry, capital A. Empyrean loop of radius. Some R is a radius, huh? So R, where R is greater than A and less than B. Okay, Abdullah? So this is how we define
Yes,
R. So again, the same relation, it's closed integral of B dot dl is mu naught I enclosed. This is magnetic field in the region 2. Now, as Mariam said, that I enclosed is not 0. There is some current inside the loop, right? To calculate that current, I'm writing some variables, like I'm writing capital N, total number of turns. Here, these are total number of turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the total. This is N turns to have. And we have I current through each turn. I is current through each turn. So what would be I enclosed here? Through one turn, current passing is I. You have total n turns. So what should be I enclosed here?
IN.
I n I, right? That's I enclosed in I. That's my, I call this as my first equation. I call is this my second equation. Now I need B dot dl. You know that what is B dot dl? A standard integral. Yes, Noor, what's the value of B dot dl?
Mu 0 I.
No. The value of this integral. I'm not asking the ampere second law. I'm just asking the value of this integral. We have solved this integral yesterday several times. Yes, Noor.
So integral of B.
Abdullah. Yes, Abdullah is right. See, yesterday we have solved this integral for a circular loop several times. Whenever we solved it, comes out to be B into 2 by R. B into 2 by the radius of the loop, right? B into 2 by R. The previous questions also is B into 2 by R. So how much is this integral, Mariam? What's the value of this integral? Mariam, value of this integral, bache? Fatma? Yes, Fatma. What is the value of this integral? Yes.
BDL.
Yeah, it's closed integral BDL. And what is closed integral BDL? That's 2 by R, right?
Yeah, 2 pi r.
It's B into 2 by R. Yes, Noor? That's the value of this integral, B into 2 by R. Now, what we can do is we can substitute 2 and 3 in 1. Let's substitute 2 and 3 in 1. When you do this substitution, when you substitute 2 and 3 in 1, you will get its magnetic field into second region into 2 by R is mu naught I enclosed, and I enclosed is Ni. So you get that magnetic field in second region is mu naught Ni over 2 by R. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, note it down. Then we will convert in some other form, but first note it down. And one interesting thing about toroid is it don't have poles. Toroid is one of the few sources of magnetic field which don't have poles. It don't have positive or negative poles.
Yes, sir. Done. So for third region, the current will be like magnetic field will be 0, right?
Yes, it will be 0. Okay. Okay. Now I need average radius of the toroid. Inner radius is A, outer radius is B. Ahmed, what should be the average radius? Inner is A, outer is B. What should be the average radius?
Average should be R.
No. In terms of A and B.
A
Yes.
plus B divided by 2.
A plus B divided by C. So let's calculate average radius. Huh? So let's calculate average radius of toroid. The average radius of toroid comes out to be it's A plus B by 2. That's the average radius. So if you know the average radius, you can calculate the average length of the toroid. Average length of toroid. The average length of the toroid is 2 pi r. The average length is 2 pi r. That's the average length of the toroid. So n by 2 pi r, sorry, 2 pi r. N by 2 pi r. N by 2 pi r means total length divided by average length. This means total number of turns divided by the average, divided by the average length. Abdullah, can you guess what should be n by 2 pi r? You can relate it to solenoid. Some parameter that we did in solenoid. Yes, Abdullah.
Yes, sir.
We did this thing in one numerical of solenoid also.
Yes, sir. That is the number of turns per unit length.
Very good. Total number of turns divided by length is total number of turns per unit length. So that's number of turns per unit length. Number of turns per unit length. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So if I name this equation something, like if I say this is equation number 4, if I say this is 5, so what I can do is I can put 5 in 4. Means instead of this n by 2 pi r, I'm writing n. So the magnetic field is mu naught Ni. See, this results match with that of solenoid. So magnetic field due to a solenoid and toroid is same. The only difference is in L. Here in solenoid, the n means number of turns divided by the length of the solenoid. Here it's number of turns divided by the average length of the toroid, which is 2 pi r. This is mu naught Ni. Now we can calculate in region 3. Region 3.
This was
This
for region 2.
Yeah, this one was region 2. This one was for region 2. Huh? Now let's solve region 3.
For numericals, they will ask separately, like for region 1, region 2, like that.
Abdullah, in region 1, magnetic field is 0, right? So there's no point in calculating in region 1.
No, sir, like
In
when they
region-
will in numericals, like they will ask calculate in region 2 or region 3, like that.
No. They will just mention to calculate the magnetic field due to a toroid.
Okay.
Now let's see if there is anything in region 3. So for region 3, let's take a loop again. Huh? So I'm taking this red loop here. So Abdullah, what do you think? This is R. Is there any current enclosed by this red loop?
Yes, sir.
There is some current. Which current? This,
So,
what's the direction of that current? Only outwards, only inwards, or both?
both.
Both. Which means if I take outwards as positive, then inward should be negative.
Yes, sir.
Ahmed, can you guess the net current through this inside this red loop?
0,
Why you said so?
because in the outer current will cancel the inner current.
Right. If we take outer as positive, then inwards would be negative.
Yeah.
Mariam, Fatma, are you getting this point? In the
Yes.
third loop, net current would be 0. The reason is if I take outwards as positive, then I will take inwards as negative. So the net current would be 0. Positive, negative will cancel out each other. So in region 3, consider a loop of radius r, where r is greater than c, not c, it's b, sorry. R is greater than b. And if you want to calculate I enclosed, then I enclosed would be Ni minus Ni, that would be 0. So I enclosed would be 0. Because if you take current outside is as positive, then current going inwards would be negative. So the net current will be Ni minus Ni. If I enclosed is 0, and I use Ampere's Second law here, what should be the value of B3 now? Mariam, what should be the value of B3 if I enclose is 0? Mariam, what should be the value of B3 if I enclose is 0? Yes, Ahmed, you are correct. Mariam, are you in class? Fatima, what's the value of B3 if I enclose is 0? Fatima, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking if I enclose is 0, then what should be the value of B3 from this equation?
TL.
Sorry?
Wait, no.
See, in this equation, I enclose is 0, Fatima. I'm asking what should be the value of B3 here? See, if you solve this integral, then it will be B3 into 2 by R. I enclose is 0, this is equal to 0. So your B3 comes out to be 0. Yes, Fatma. Are you getting this thing?
Yes, sir.
0, it's 0. Which means there is no magnetic field inside, there is no magnetic field outside. Magnetic field is confined only within the core of toroid. So you can say that magnetic field is confined only within core of toroid. So magnetic field is confined only within the core of toroid. Okay, just note it down. So that was about Ampere's second law. It's over. Next, we will start Lorentz Okay. Okay. Noted. Is everyone have noted it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. So that was about Ampere-Circuital law. So Ampere-Circuital law is very scoring. See, in Ampere-Circuital law, you have three derivations: one of solenoid, one of toroid, and another of long straight wire. And you have one proof and two numericals. That's it. So it's scoring thing. After Ampere-Circuital law, the next topic is Lorentz force, or I should say magnetic Lorentz force. Magnetic Lorentz force. See, basically, this is the second part of magnetics. This topic of magnetics is divided into two parts. The first part that we did from Baer-Savitz's law to Ampere-Circuital law, this much. This is basically the source of magnetic field. Basically, this is source of magnetic field. So this is basically telling you how to calculate magnetic field for a straight wire, for a circular wire, for solenoid, for toroid, long straight wire, and everything. Now the next topic is about force. Like if you have a magnetic field, then what happened to a charged particle which move in that magnetic field? So magnetic Lorentz force is force on a charged particle moving in magnetic field. This is about force on charged particle. Force on charged particle moving in magnetic field. So if you have a magnetic field like this, this is magnetic field, some magnetic field. The source of the magnetic field is unknown. The source of this magnetic field could be a solenoid, it could be a toroid. There is some magnetic field B. In this magnetic field, you have a charge Q, a positively charged particle. This particle is moving with some velocity V. Angle between velocity and the magnetic field is theta. So a charge Q is moving with velocity V in a uniform magnetic field B. In a uniform magnetic field. So you have a charge Q, it's moving with some velocity V in a uniform magnetic field B now. So magnetic field will exert some force on the charged particle. Magnetic field will exert force on charged particle and that force is given by this relation. FB is Q V cross B. Magnetic force, huh? QV cross. When we open this cross product, the force comes out to be its Q V B sine theta. When you open the cross product, then this is the magnitude of force, QEB sine theta. One more thing, this force will be perpendicular to both velocity as well as magnetic field. This force FB is perpendicular to both V as well as B naught. So force is perpendicular to both velocity as well as magnetic field. We will discuss the direction, but before direction, there are some points like if charge Q is moving parallel to B. If charge Q is moving parallel to magnetic field, means this is the magnetic field and your charge Q is moving with some velocity V which is parallel to B. So angle theta will be 0 degree. So force would be QVB sine 0. Force will be 0. So if a charged particle is moving parallel to magnetic field, it will not experience any force. Another thing. Force is perpendicular to velocity. Since F is perpendicular to, since force is perpendicular to velocity, it should also be perpendicular to S, where S is displacement. Force is perpendicular to velocity, so force should always also be perpendicular to displacement. F is also perpendicular to displacement. So you can write work done. Work done by magnetic force work done by magnetic force W, it should be F dot S and it is Fs cos 90 because force and displacement are perpendicular. So work done is 0. So it's a very important result for 1 marker question. Work done by magnetic field is always 0. Remember this thing. Work done by magnetic field is always 0. So work done by magnetic field will always be 0. Next thing. If we use work energy theorem, work energy theorem says work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Means work done is equal to its final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So if work done is 0, minus initial kinetic energy. So take it to the left hand side. So you can say that initial kinetic energy is equal to the final kinetic energy. Initial and final kinetic energies are equal. So no change in kinetic energy due to magnetic Lorentz force. No change in kinetic energy due to magnetic force. There's one more result. If initial kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy you can write half mv square. Half mvi square is half mvf square. Half m will cancel this half m and you will be left with only vi is equal to vf. Means no change in magnitude of velocity. No change in magnitude of velocity due to magnetic force. So what this force is doing, the work done by this force is zero. Change, there is no change in kinetic energy due to this force. There is no change in magnitude of velocity due to this force. So what this force is doing, this force can change only the direction of velocity. Remember this. Magnetic force can change. Magnetic force can change only the direction of velocity. Magnetic force can change only the direction of velocity, nothing else. It can, there's no work done, no change in kinetic energy, no change in magnitude of velocity. Only the direction of velocity can change due to magnetic Lorentz force. Note it down. And tell me your doubts if you have. Sania, any doubt? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what is that? Magnetic field will exert magnetic force.
Yes, the force that magnetic field exerts is known as magnetic force. So we are studying magnetic force right now.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
One second, scroll up.
Scroll up. Okay.
Second, scroll up.
Okay, noted.
Yes, sir.
So I will leave at 9:50 today. Okay, we'll continue this in the next class. Sure. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Allah.